Hey, Gemini, Intuitive Soul Coach here with your October 2024 monthly reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Gemini, you have inner child showing up with conflict and flexibility. Okay, some of you have been in deep reflection. I am getting hermit energy here. Now, I don't see it out on the board yet, but I feel like you've been in some deep healing, deep introspection. A lot of you have been working on healing the inner child, perhaps working on how you respond to certain circumstances or situations. And I'm also getting working through defense mechanisms. So perhaps in the past you've shut down, or there's been fight or flight. Maybe you've numbed certain situations. You've done a lot of work is what I'm picking up on, and it actually shows up right away with the 8 of Pentacles, which is the card of work. Now, I see some of you could have been putting your nose to the grindstone and really focusing on your career, your finances. I am getting relationships as well. We're going to take a look at each area, each category, but I do see a start of something beautiful. And if there has been conflict, you're finding ways to overcome a situation of the past with the 6 of Cups here and the Emperor right next to it. Yeah, you're finding solutions to perhaps some long-standing problems. I also have a feeling here, Gemini, that you're keeping something to yourself that you've been working on. You've been keeping yourself in this mode of, I'm not letting anyone interfere or distract me from my goals or from my happiness. And look, at bottom of the deck, we do have the Tower. So there's a foundational shift that is taking place here. You are destroying some old structures. There's a new beginning because you've been undergoing a massive awakening. And I do feel like there is change, but this is internal. This is change within you that is shifting, and you're going to approach life with a new perspective is what I feel. And there could even be a move with the flexibility card. This can be divine detours showing up here for you. Something from the past could be coming back around for you. This could be a past connection. It could be a past job or a hobby or a goal that you've put on the back burner. But with the 6 of Cups, I feel like you're seeing it from a new perspective. Some of you are really focusing on your health. You're getting in better shape, or you've had to heal from emotional setbacks, financial. But I feel like this is the month where you take your health in a new direction. When it's partnered with the 8 of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, even though that can be, financial, it can talk about the body and health as well. And I feel like a lot of you felt depleted or you felt drained. You were healing from something, so you needed that time to recover. Now, October is a 10-month. Endings bringing in new beginnings. And I do feel like there's a beautiful beginning showing up here for you. All right, you have the tear, but right in front of it is Agape there. So you've shed a lot of tears. There's been sorrow, there's been grief. And I feel with this energy, it almost feels like there's protection. You're protected as you undergo some of these huge internal shifts that will lead to external shifts as well. Now, inner child. Someone could have a birthday this month, maybe a child's birthday. This could be a celebration of you doing things in a different way than you've done in the past, possibly even a childhood dream coming to fruition for you, or you're focusing on getting back to that part of yourself, Gemini, that feels more joy, that feels more laughter, magic, happiness, fun, and enthusiasm. There is the beginning stages of something that may last a lifetime, or it could definitely be a long-lasting impact for you. I don't necessarily feel like this is external. I mean, it is going to be external. It'll show up as change in the outer world. Ace of Pentacles is the material world, but I feel like this is because you've been doing something inside. You've been doing some internal work, and I feel like you're focusing on your joy and your happiness. You are looking at some of the subconscious wounds that you've dealt with, because I see the moon showing up here as well. And when we see the moon, this is about fears being exposed and things that may have been hidden from view. You're able to light that up. And as they say, and this just came up, I believe it was an Aries reading. If you have Aries in your chart, because Aries has been showing up strong. I think it's also been in Taurus and it's now in yours. So this energy talks about light as well. The saying, I believe, goes, the closer you are to the light, the longer the shadow, right? So it almost feels like you are on the brink, or you have been on the brink of a massive, spiritual enlightenment in a way, the word light in itself, but it means that it also has these shadows, but you're embracing the light and the shadow aspect. And when you do that, there's this sense of wholeness, or there's a sense of not feeling disassociated from yourself or from your dreams or from people. And I feel like your inner child here wants to come out and play, wants to have a little fun, but you may have had to nurture this inner little girl or little boy, because some of you had to grow up way too quickly. Some of you, I feel like in innocence was stolen, or, it just feels like your youth in some way was short-lived, and now you have this opportunity to bring about joy and enthusiasm even as an adult. And I do feel like life has been serious. Life has been, for some of you, quite tragic. And I see that with the conflict card here, and also this Ace of Pentacles, you're a fighter, Gemini. You are not someone who is going to give up easily. You fight for what you want. And I see here solutions. You're finding solutions to some hidden energies, things that have been hidden from view, or fears, but it's going to require you to trust your intuition, and to push through some illusions, because eclipse energy is going to bring about some hidden truths, possibly about other people. This could be around yourself. I feel like things aren't as they appear, things aren't as they seem, perhaps in a situation, and that's why you have flexibility. Because it almost feels like things could change on a dime with the Tower. But I feel like this is you initiating it, because you may feel like you need to be entirely honest or authentic, or, truthful about where you're going or who you are, or in some sort of dynamic. And maybe that doesn't align with where you've been or where you are at. So something is shifting here that's going to bring in a new beginning. And I feel like you've had to overcome a lot of adversity. You've had to overcome some triggers. This is also about, exposure. Something is coming to the surface that may have been hidden or on lockdown. And you have the flexibility, change. I feel like there are change agents coming in through the form of people, places, or things that let you know, Gemini, that you're on the right path. If you ask the universe for a sign, I feel like you're going to receive it. Okay, this is also about movement, expansion, going with the flow, because some of you have been on the path of resistance. It feels like everywhere you were moving, there was some sort of resistance, some sort of roadblock, right? you just wanted to move forward, but you would take one step forward to take two steps back. And I feel like there's a new path coming in here for you that is the path of least resistance. And it is long term. It's something honest, loyal, stable. And it's going to require you to look at the past for some answers, is what I'm getting, because this Emperor is looking right at the Six of Cups. So this could be a childhood dream, as mentioned. It could even be some fears. Maybe you parenting yourself in some way, shape, or form with the Six of Cups. We'll take a look and go a little bit further in relationships here in a moment. But trust in the divine detours that are showing up for you. Now, you also have soul purpose at the bottom of the deck. You have second chance and you have healing. Now, for some of you, there is a second chance to heal a dynamic between you and someone you are currently in a relationship with, or perhaps there's been some struggles. This could be a past person. It doesn't have to be past romantic love, such as an ex, but it could be here. But this could be a family member that you had a falling out with. This could be, a friendship where there was some sort of misunderstanding. Now, typically, when we go through some sort of conflict, a lot of times that creates time and distance between individuals. And sometimes we need that time and distance to really reflect and see things from a different viewpoint that we weren't able to see while we were connected or in some sort of union. And with the soul purpose, there's a call here. This is like the judgment energy. And I feel like, you've been going through this awakening, and there's a second chance here to live a more joyous, abundant, happy life. Some of you, there's going to be a new offer coming in. There's a new offer. This could be a job. This could be home. You have the Emperor. This could be a connection with maybe a father figure, an authority figure, for you to step into your power, take action. And I do see the healing bringing about a sense of recovery. And you have closure, or you're about to gain necessarily closure that you need to fully move forward in a new light, because you're looking at the shadows and the light. And that is when you truly know yourself and the situation on a profound level. And there's been grief. I see that with a tear. Someone has shed a lot of tears, maybe over you. You've shed a lot of tears over people that have come and gone. People who've hurt you. I'm getting happy tears as well here. And I also feel like health has been a factor for you or someone that you love or loved. I feel like this is finding alternative ways to work on that healing piece. Okay. Yeah. Soul tribe. And also being able to connect to people who want to see you thrive, people who want to see you happy. New friendships, strengthening existing bonds. Now, starting off, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Gemini, when you have the Eight of Pentacles, this is mastering a skill, loving your work. You're really talented. You're really good at what you do, and you strive to be the best that you can be. This is gaining knowledge. Some of you could be trying out new things, being experimental in your career at this time, or within your health, or even your relationships. This is opening up to trying new things to see what works, right? Maybe taking a class, maybe going to therapy. This could be being an apprentice. For others of you, this is about gaining knowledge where you don't know all that you could around a certain situation, but you're driving yourself here. And I also feel for some of you, time management is significant. Getting back on some sort of routine, maybe a healthier eating routine, getting back to maybe the gym, or, this could be a spiritual practice such as yoga. I see yoga showing up here. You may be needing to drink more waters or eat more plant-based vegetables. I also see someone really loves sushi, or, because I see the octopus here, but I'm getting raw foods or raw fish. Okay, someone may enjoy sushi. I personally am not a sushi fan, but some of you may really enjoy it, or you could be going to some sort of restaurant like hibachi. Okay, hibachi, or where foods are cooked right in front of you. You could be taking a cooking class. Perhaps you're getting certified. You could be an apprentice or bringing someone on board to help you out. I mean, this is exciting because you're open to discovery here. And the Ace of Pentacles is the start of a new life. It's a positive reward. Some of you could even be graduating. You could be graduating from, I'm getting some of you, this could be like chef school, or you could be gaining a higher role or higher position. The Ace of Pentacles is definitely a beautiful reward. It's a bonus, a gift. This could be an inheritance. It could be, a raise of some sort. It could be moving into a new home, but it's physical health and well-being. And it's represented by the silver slippers. And in the Wizard of Oz, she taps those slippers 3 times and says, there's no place like home. So there's a part of you that feels like you're coming home to a place within yourself, right? And that's what I'm getting. It's you're coming back to this place of feeling a sense of one, feeling a sense of belonging, or just feeling like you're on the right path here after a lot of detours, after a lot of, wrong turns, or, and I don't want to say that they were wrong. They were all teachable moments or teachability. But I feel like you may be coming back home to something that felt very far away. Some of you could quite literally be moving back home or visiting home this month. You do have the 6 of Cups. This is the card of past life. It is soulmate energy. It's nostalgia, reconnecting to a past person. Some of you could be dreaming about someone that maybe you haven't seen or been with for, 15 years. Now, eclipse energy can bring up subconscious things that we thought we've worked with, we thought we've healed, but when they're buried deep in the subconscious, we don't always see consciously how they are affecting our choices and our behaviors. So if you do notice things coming up from the past, pay close attention, because that's the message I'm getting here is look to the past for answers. What's worked for you then? What hasn't worked? What's different now? And I feel what's different now is you have this healing and this wisdom underneath you in some way, shape, or form. Like you've put some time and work into this situation. And this could be something that really has the potential to be quite wonderful with the Emperor. But be mindful of unhealthy past attachments. Be mindful of romanticizing the past or buying someone's affection or friendship. Some of you may have had a parent, specifically a father figure, but this could be a parent who bought love or bought affection. Maybe that was all they knew, or that was how they showed their love in some way, shape, or form. Or this could be a message to you to really drop into a space where you feel like a child again. If this is your own children or your own, maybe grandchildren, instead of giving, someone money for a birthday, right? How can you maybe look at it from a new perspective and maybe spend the quality time or do something that you haven't done before? Try something new. And yes, it may have worked in the past, but I feel like it didn't work for both of you. It almost feels like it was one-sided energy. Maybe this was coming towards you or, you were putting this energy out, but I just feel like something doesn't feel as balanced as now it has the opportunity to feel more balanced. You also have here with this Emperor, this is discipline, it's structure, it's stability. And I feel like you may have dealt with at one point or another a very controlling energy, possibly narcissism or greed. And I feel like you're looking to the past and you're saying, I know how this played out, or I know, or I understand maybe why someone reacted the way they did or why I responded the way I did. I'm getting a lot of psychology here for you. Some of you may be therapists, coaches, mentors, healers, inspirational leaders of some sort. You may even own your own business. This could be a spiritual path professionally. You may have a spiritually based business, but I also get whatever you are doing here, you are working on healing the inner child, and you're also helping others in a profound way. You're very inspirational here, Gemini. I almost wanted to call you Leo. So perhaps some of you, there's some Leo in your chart, or you may be dealing with a Leo. Now, the moon card is Pisces energy, but we also see the Six of Swords. It's in reverse. Okay. Don't shoot the messenger here. Don't shut off the video. I feel like this is important. Some of you may need to turn around and go back into a Five of Swords in order to heal something entirely so you don't take it with you into this new beginning. Okay. Phew. No one wants to go back to the past. That's why I love being, a coach versus a therapist. Therapy talks a lot about the past and the inner child and, things that we've gone through, our conditioning. But, coaches per se focus on the now and moving forward. But there is an element here of, therapy and spiritual guidance that I feel is enmeshed. It means it's coming together where you may need to look at something from a different perspective that may have happened from the past, because there could be a little bit of a block. And I feel like the time is now. Now, Six of Swords in reverse is resistance. It's clinging to old ways or old fears. So if we are clinging, we need to look at why we are clinging. What are we clinging to? Why is there perhaps an unhealthy attachment? What is the fear? What is the illusion with the moon card here? Because when you look at the shadow, remember what I said, the closer you get to the light, the longer the shadow. It almost feels like you're addressing some sort of shadow, but that is your ticket. That is the winning ticket out of a situation by facing that fear head on. And for some of you, if you don't, there's going to be a repeat cycle. Okay, there's going to be a repeat cycle, because I'm just going to tell you, if you're not familiar with the Five of Swords, that's what the Six of Swords in reverse goes back to. Five of Swords is someone that takes advantage, someone that could be selfish, very angry, very rageful, a bully, manipulative, someone who wins at all cost, someone who thinks that their worth is more than someone else's worth. It can be argumentative. It can be unfair. Basically, it's a battle of the egos. And a lot of times when this inner child card shows up, it is two people or two energies coming together, that it's the wounded inner child fighting each other. When if we would just address this and take accountability and responsibility over a situation and heal it and work with it and dive into the shadow, but that's scary. Not a lot of people want to work on that because, for one, they don't know how. For two, it can stir up a lot of past stuff, and no one wants to go back to a messy past, right? But I'm just getting the message here that if you really want to do the work, which I see you do, and a lot of you have, but maybe this is someone else. This doesn't have to be you. Maybe you're the one coaching, mentoring, or helping others face some sort of struggle or issue, so you can break out of the moon, so you can break out of subconscious patterns that may be replaying out in one's life. Because once you address the conflict, you can move around something with more versatility than the past. Then you're open up to new opportunities. And I just feel for a lot of you, you're going through this spiritual journey or transition, but it's going to require you to take a deeper look at a situation that, you may have felt very confused, very hidden. And we do have eclipse energy coming in quite strong, right? We have We have a lot being exposed within ourselves, within others. This is secrets. This is things that may have been hidden from us. This can even be past life energies. For those of you that are into astrology, or even if you're not, you may want to dive into your north and south node, because the south node is where you've been. The south node is our past, and the north node is our destiny. All right, what else do we have here for finances? Business, career, money. We have parenthood. Healing your inner child. You cannot make this up. Healing your inner child will help you make money. Here's your inner child, Gemini. There is something here that feels like a tad bit of a block, but you are brave. You are a warrior. You are courageous. Maybe that's that Leo energy of the strength. When you have the strength on your side, you're going to overcome any difficulty with self-control, with determination and facing fears. You're not going to self-doubt yourself, your potential. You're not going to fight or flight. You're not going to have to replay out patterns. This is a very powerful energy showing up. You could be a caregiver, a teacher, a pediatrician, or any career centered with children. Some of you may be parents. Perhaps you are a single parent, or you are raising children. Some of you adult children. I'm hearing special abilities or special individuals. You could work with individuals with special gifts. I'm getting even autism, autistic. Some of you could be autistic, or there may be a child in your life who's autistic or holds some other special gifts. Don't forget to nurture yourself. While you work towards your goals, don't forget to nurture yourself. Be your own parent while you are building your goals. And maybe that's part of why you have the Emperor showing up, nurturing, creating a structure, creating a sense of stability for yourself, especially if you didn't have that growing up, right? You're very powerful. You're more powerful than you realize, Gemini. And I also feel like for those of you that have lost a parent, there's a parent coming in here that is going to connect with you through dream state or connect with you through meditation. They're very much watching over you. Now, we also have Gaia. When Gaia shows up in your career sector, trust that the universe has a better plan, right? Protecting the planet. Some of you are strong humanitarians. You may be working with herbs, working with nature in some way, shape, or form, working out in nature. You could be builders. You could be creators. Spend time with nature to be healed and soothed and to regroup. And lastly, we have designer. You are being called to tune into your individuality and express yourself. Yeah, self-expression, whatever you're curious about, whatever you want to express within yourself, go for it. Eight of Pentacles is all about, staying open to trying and discovering new things. You are the cook in your own kitchen, and you have a kitchen that is stocked. You can create and make anything that you want, Gemini, anything. Some of you are scientists. I'm getting like you're mixing and matching things. You could have a business, creative design, web design. Perhaps you are looking at marketing. Maybe you work with Canva. You're someone who's able to maybe work with interior design as well. I'm getting construction, maybe rebuilding. Get creative with your finances. Perhaps it's time to discover a new talent. Yeah, you're very talented. I'm getting a Gemini of all trades here. You're very talented. A career maybe in fashion, art, or any other artistic endeavor could just be for you. Absolutely. So in career, I see that there's something new showing up here that you're going to put some time and energy into to see what sticks, what works, what avenues do you want to continue exploring. You're going to go through some trial and error, but I also feel like there could potentially be a childhood dream, whether working with children, maybe creating children's books, but I also feel like your big boss energy, you're showing up, you are creating and building an empire and possibly even leaving a legacy behind for those that you come into contact with, including your own children if you have them, or perhaps your clients, or your patients are like children. But I do see here, if there's been confusion, if there has been someone who was taking advantage of you, some sort of truth is coming up in the month of October, and that could bring about a little bit of conflict, but ultimately it's going to lead to a new beginning, because it's through that shadow, right? It's through the shadow that we're really able to embrace and grow. All right, let's look at love. What do we have for love? Oof. Some of you have been backstabbed. You've been through heartbreak. I feel like every one of us will go through pain and loss. It's basically inevitable. It's part of the human experience at some point or another, but we try to avoid it, right? We try to avoid it at all costs, because no one wants to be in the energy of pain. Not one person. You will never meet someone that says, "Oh yeah, I'll be in pain today. I will tribute." No one wants to intentionally go into the Hunger Games unless they're trying to protect someone or something. But I feel like separation and loss has occurred here for you. There's been deception. There's been lies. There's been attacks. You've been shocked by people's behaviors. It almost feels like you couldn't believe that certain people would act the way that they did, or they were the way that they were. But I also feel like you've grown now to see your role and how things played out, that it wasn't just pointed and geared at one specific person. You know how that individual, regardless of how dark or challenging or egotistical or narcissistic they were, you see how it has helped you. You see, by going through situations, regardless of how negative or challenging, how it's helped your path. And that's truth and evolution there. You may have been mirroring someone's energy, okay? You may still be mirroring an energy. And this is about self-reflection, introspection, and really working on those inner wounds. And I feel like if you're not happy, and this is, everybody says this, if you're not happy in your outer world, look at what's going on in here. What do we need to change? What do we need to, who do we need to become? Sometimes we need to be that change that we wish to see in our outer world. And if something is being reflected to you that you do not like, don't be afraid to look at it. Don't be afraid to look yourself in the mirror and say, what's really going on here? And sometimes that's hard to do. One of the things that I recommend so often, because it really does work, is mirror work. Mirror work is, I feel like it's a term coined by Louise Hay. I don't know if she's the original person, but mirror work is looking yourself in the mirror. Looking at yourself, eye to eye in the mirror, saying your name and saying affirmations and talking to yourself. And it sounds crazy, right? But telling yourself all the things that maybe you didn't hear as a child. Maybe you needed as a child but didn't get. Therefore, you created some defense mechanisms. Therefore, you became someone that, was unrecognizable because you were people pleasing, or you were trying to avoid conflict, or because you just wanted attention and love. Whatever it was, you're looking in the mirror and something is reflecting back. But I feel like mirror work, looking at yourself in the mirror. Next time, this is going to be your soul work. Next time you pass a mirror, Gemini, I want you to look at yourself and tell yourself, call yourself by a name, a good name, right? Your name. And I want you to tell yourself how much you love you, right? And how kind and smart and beautiful and intelligent or handsome you are. Do that mirror work. It will change your life. You've done a lot of work, and I see you grounding, stability and security. You're someone who you put on this performance. Some of you could be actors, or you could be someone who puts on a great show, right? Because you are wanting to please others in some way, because you're also great at what you do. So it's not that this is a facade. This isn't that you're not being truthful or honest, but I feel like you are, a performer of some way, shape, or form. And there's a lot of growth here and there's a lot of endurance. But when it comes to love, I feel like you are attracting something stable. You're attracting something stable because you yourself are becoming more stable. You're also attracting security. And security may be something you didn't have growing up or you didn't have in a past union. And I feel like you are allowing yourself to get back out there again. If you are single, this is about dating, meeting someone new. Some of you could be setting a date, popping the question, getting married. This is about meeting maybe someone online. For others of you, there is an important date coming in the month of October. I'm hearing the 16th could be significant. Okay, the 16th. I don't know what date that is, but I feel like there is some sort of shift around that date that really opens up and expands the heart center. So if you're looking for love, put yourself out there on a course of learning. This could be meeting someone some of you could be meeting a person at work, or you meet them and they're in the same profession as you, or, it could be in a course of learning. I feel like if you're looking for love, there is an opportunity to really meet someone trustworthy, loyal, and honest, and not to bring the past stuff back into this. Even if this is someone that you've already known, but you want to have a beginning with them, a new beginning, it's important to address some of the underlying energies very early on is what I'm getting. Because I also see that you're a healer and you could be connecting to someone else who's a healer. If you are in a relationship currently, I feel like there's growth here, because if both parties are willing to come together, this can be quite beautiful. But I also see, for those of you who are wanting to exit because there's been too much conflict, I feel like there's going to be some secrets addressed. There's going to be something exposed. And if you've been kind of just keeping something on the lowdown or maybe brushing it to the side, I feel like this is the month that, you really open yourself up and take a look at that mirror, that reflection shining back at you and saying to yourself, is this where I want to be? Is this the person that I want to grow old with or to be with long term? So definitely a lot of beautiful shifts happening for you, Gemini, in the month of October. Now, you did have 2 archetypal cards show up for you. You have the Tears and you also have Agape. So I am going to read both of them, but I'm going to look at the Tear because this can be mourning. It can be release. And I feel like this is what you're kind of coming out of, or you have been mourning some sort of loss. Tears are droplets of letting go. Once they begin to fall, we allow the swelling tide of the emotions to run its elemental course. Often the tear is what is needed in order for a conversation or situation to break into the next level of intimacy and vulnerability. Some say that the tears are so powerful in softening our egos that they open up a portal to the unseen world. Wow. So we have the vulnerability and the openness of the Ace of Pentacles, the gift, and we see the Moon. This is addressing something pretty deep. Through our watery eyes, the ancestors catch a glimpse of us and we are reminded of their eternal embrace. We sense our humanity, our humility, and we allow ourselves to be held. It is likely this card appears when there is grieving yet to do, a sinking down into disappointment or despair that once acknowledged will bring a shimmer of clarity to our dewy eyes. Exactly what has been showing up in this reading. What a beautiful confirmation. This can be letting go, melody, melancholy, or flowing through. When it's showing up as the challenge, it's drowning. It's drama, it's murkiness. The tear is powerful and it is possible to be subsumed in its waters. Find a supportive place to open the floodgates. In both the tear and the river, if they appear in a reading, which we don't have the river, but we do have Agape, this indicates an excess of the water element in your life. As an Ayurvedic tradition, balance it with fire and earth. So for some of you, you need to release. There needs to be maybe a good cry, right? Or a good morning, or, looking back at something regardless of how challenging, how difficult it is, because as I've said here in your reading, it's like facing something head on is going to be the sweet release. And it's hard. We don't want to do that. We want to avoid pain. But let's look at Agape, because that was the card that was on top. And I feel like this is going to be the main energy in the month of October. And I'm not familiar with these cards on a deeper level. However, I do love them. But let's take a look at what Agape means for you. All right, Agape. And there's also the mirror here. So for those of you that really are doing some of this deep healing, take a look at mirror work. Dive into that. Maybe look at Louise Hay and Google it. You could really learn a lot. All right, what do we have for Agape? I'm just going to find it here, not waste your time. 1 second. All right, Gemini. Agape is devotion, unconditional love. What if, instead of putting yourself at the center of your spiritual practice, you put God, goddess, or nature at the center? How would this change your approach? Such is the energy of Agape. It is alive when we are in awe and wonder, our breath taken away by the sacred force that surrounds us and asks for nothing in return. This card can indicate a spiritual initiation that stretches your capacity to love and serve. You sense the earthly as the heavenly and vice versa. Such an initiation moment can appear in any form, and like a healing balm to the modern soul, its effects last a lifetime. We said that earlier for you. I said some internal changes are going to be life lasting, something big within you. Such a moment can appear in any form. The Agape card may also suggest that you reassess what you worship every day, consciously or unconsciously. What are you elevating? Where does the sacred ladder you climb ultimately lead to? This can be of service when it's showing up in the light. It can be reverence, honor, and joy. When it's showing up as the dark, it can be spiritual bypassing or righteousness. Agape can also be felt as an overwhelming love of family, partner, community, recognizing it by a deep swell of gratitude. The Greek word agape informs the English word agape. To have the mouth agape is to be awestruck, right? We've all done that, right? That's why they say pick your jaw up off the ground, because sometimes we are just awestruck. And that may be the feeling, the overall energy that something is coming in for you in a profound way. It could be breathtakingly delightful, right? It reminds us that we are made humble once again. So the fact that Agape is showing up on top of the tear says that there's life after loss, that there is renewal, there is an awakening happening here for you, Gemini. Embrace this. If you want to take it a step further, if you want to go deeper, it says children's choirs from around the world. I'm not sure. I mean, that could be listening to children singing. You know, there's some beautiful songs out there. The first one that I'm thinking of is, I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere up above. And it's in the voice of children singing that song. I forget what the song's called or who even sings it. But some of you may hear a song that has children singing in it or elements of that, and it feels like there's a sense of wonder coming in here for you. It almost feels like angelic voices from the heavens. Okay, you may feel a little bit awestruck in the month of October. You may feel like, wow, this is maybe a dream that you've wanted. I feel like you're opening yourself up, and instead of it just being you in the center, this is you remembering that you are a spark of the divine. It is not just, the singular energy of the human experience. You are coming back to yourself. There's no place like home, Gemini. You're remembering where you come from. And you're being humbled in such a way that changes everything. Profound month, profound reading. I hope this resonates for you. If so, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. Thank you so very much for tuning in today, Gemini. Lots of love.